It's a protest organised at John O'Dowd's decision to close Avonneal Primary School. This is a school which has got healthy numbers, it's got a healthy school budget in an increasing population area, and he's made the decision to close the school. We're here today to say that not only do the staff don't accept it, the parents don't accept it, and that ultimately that the children's education in that area will be affected. Of recent, Elm Grove is the school which they have elected to keep open. However, the school isn't capable of holding numbers for the children. The Avonneal Primary School itself, they're having to use it next year to accommodate some of the kids. So if they're still having to use the school, why would they close the school?
I'm here because our children's being denied their education in their own school. They're not given the right education for our children. The special needs for the children aren't being looked at for when they go to a new school, and it's unfair because there's a lot of children that need the help that Avonneal has already given them, from the teachers who know the children, from the dining halls, from the special needs and that, from the classrooms and the special needs. It's not being met through the Education Library Board.
So do you feel if everyone moves to Elm Grove there will be too many pupils?
Their classes are far too big now. They can't cope with the children that they do have. So how can they cope with our children when they go? How do they give the children the right education? What one child needs, one child might need more than the other. So do they suffer because one child needs more and the other child's getting more than our children can never get it?
What reasons have you been given by the Education Minister, and why does school should close?
Really none of any substantial things that we would take on board. They're saying it's again down to budget cuts within the austerity within Stormont, and that the numbers are normally based on how many children are in the school, the budgets. Again, none of these actually stack up in the area planning. Where they're saying there possibly could be a new build for a large primary school in the area, again no site has been identified, budget identified, or anyone to be made aware of where it's going to be. Again, the consultation of that we aren't fully involved on, so again parents, staff, everything are not 100% sure of where it is, and that's part of why we're here today.
Can you give us a brief description of what's happened so far from the announcement of the plans to close the school up until this point?
Well, again, there has been a legal challenge, came from the parents themselves. Okay, they have put in a legal challenge to John O'Dowd to challenge his decision to close the school. Again, we're waiting on a response from John O'Dowd. The parents are waiting, and I think the legal team is also awaiting that.
Why do you believe taking the Education Minister to court is the right decision?
Because they're not looking at the children, they're just looking at saving money. Yes, we have a budget and the budgets are being cut, but they're not looking at saving money or the children's rights. They're actually taking the children's civil liberties away from them, but doing what they're doing.
And how has the local area reacted, and what support from the community have you received?
We've got good support from the local community. We also have people in Avonneal that don't understand English and is not being represented. If they were being represented, then they would be here today because they'd be able to understand what's happening, and that's not happening.
At any of the consultation meetings, were there any interpreters for you?
It's something difficult. A lot of family, different languages. It's very difficult. Our new school visit 43% children from Europe community, and have different languages. And I have one message: please save and no close this school.
How will this decision affect the children's education?
Me, myself, I'm going to have one child in Elm Grove and then one down the Avonneal site, so I'm going to have 2 school runs, and the kids do not want to move school.
What have the kids said about it?
They don't want to move. Why can't we stay? So we have told them, well, we're trying to fight to save your school.
And what do you think about it?
I don't think that the kids are being taken into consideration. There's quite a big group of statemented children in our school, and to move them until this new super school that's going to hold 700 odd children, these kids are going to be lost and it's going to affect them. It would be so easy for a child that's finding it difficult to learn something to just slip back and it not be noticed, and that's not for anybody's child.
What are the next steps for everyone involved, and what do you hope will happen within the next few weeks?
We hope that John O'Dowd looks at his decision, realises that again this is a healthy school, and he overturns his decision. This is a big change for a lot of young children to go into maybe bigger classrooms, new environment, and may struggle. And that's our concern, and it's a concern across all of Northern Ireland with the austerity cuts with the area planning that John O'Dowd's implementing, that there are concerns that the children's education long term will be affected. And they do talk about austerity and the welfare cuts that are coming in, but again, if children aren't getting a good education, how can they gain employment later on down the line to improve the welfare for the whole of Northern Ireland?
We want and we need to be told by Education Library Board that our schools stay open.